Yo, 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 what's going on? I'm trying to come up with a plan. The time's about right. Let me see if I can't get some music going for us. Because I'm going to be here a while tonight. Richard's going to be, this is going to be a long stream. This is going to be a long stream, you guys. So I want to get everything together. Maybe we're not going to have music tonight. I might have to start over again. I'm going to start over again. I think I'm going to have to start. Maybe not. Let's see. Reconnecting. So, reconnecting. So, if any luck, I'll be able to get some music for us. Because I plan on taking a couple minutes tonight. I want to pick a good record for us. What would be a good record? Boston's a good record. That's always good. Everybody loves Boston. So let's see if we got some music going here. Nothing yet. Oh, here we go. Good. I'm hoping to get some music going. I want to make fireworks tonight. I want to make several fireworks. I want to turn this down. It's more important that you hear me than the music. It's more important that you hear my voice than the music. Just got some music in the background. Okay, well, I'm going to make some fireworks tonight. And maybe you guys are interested. I plan on making several kinds tonight. I think all you guys in the rockets. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Carter Life 3. Allie. Carter. Hi you guys. Oh, yo, yo, yo. I plan on making fireworks tonight, you guys. And we lost the music. Oh, well. It's more important that I talk anyway. Player 222, Liam. Hey, man. I'm going to make some fireworks tonight, you guys. If you have any questions pertaining to pyrotechniques, I'll be glad to answer them. I'd be happy to play some music. That would be nice. I'll try to play some music as I make the fireworks. So yes, all right. Well, let me get down to it. I guess the first thing I'll show you, I'm going to make a fountain, and then I'll make a rocket, and then maybe a volcano. So this would be a fairly long stream. All right, well, let's start with the fountain first. Okay? We'll start with the fountain first. So my plan is to put some sort of gunpowder into this tube. It's called composition. It's gunpowder, but we call it composition in the fireworks world. What exactly releases out of fireworks? Okay, well, that's a good question, Liam. It depends what kind of fireworks you're making. Mostly, I'm just going to mix like plain black powder, and I'm going to add some maybe iron filings to it or some aluminum to create sparks. But if you're making rockets and stuff like that, it's usually just straight black powder. But you can mix charcoal and things in with your rockets also. Tomorrow's your birthday, Todd. Happy birthday. Want me to sing happy birthday to you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Todrick Mathis. It's your birthday tomorrow. I hope you get a lot of presents. Maybe I'll shoot one of my rockets your way across the country. So, happy birthday to you, cuz. Blueberry, yo, I'm going to make fireworks tonight, Blueberry. That's my plan. I'm going to try to make several different fireworks. So I'm going to try to get right to it because it takes a few minutes to make fireworks. And let's just get right to it. All right, the first thing I'm going to make is a fountain. Some people call them gerbs, Gerbs. If you buy them in the store, they call them fountains. They're the kind of things you just set on the ground and it shoots sparks in the air. That'll be the first thing I make. So I'm going to need to get some black powder, right? That's the first thing I'm going to need. Sonic Cat. Sony Cat. The Fox. Yo, yo, yo. I'm going to get some black powder. I'm looking in my goodies, and I got a whole thing of black powder here. A whole thing of it. So that's the first thing we're going to need is black powder. And Sonic Cat, we're making fireworks tonight. This isn't my usual stream where I chat with everybody. Tonight we're making fireworks, my man. This is black powder. Quite a lot of it, too. That would, if this whole thing went off at once, it would blow me in the shed to smithereens. So I'm only going to take out as much as I need, and I'm going to put this back. If somebody threw a cigarette in that thing, you wouldn't be able to identify my remains. Okay? So I'm only going to take out as much as I need, and I'm going to put this back. You guys getting this? Only taking out as much as I need. And I'm going to put the rest of this black powder away. No reason having all the black powder out when you don't need it all. So I'm just going to put this away real quick. I try to keep the explosive flammables down to a minimum. That should be plenty. That should be plenty for what I'm doing tonight. All right, so I told you the first thing we're going to make is a fountain, where the professional name is a gerb. And I'm going to ram composition into one of these tubes. And I'll show you step by step how we do it. The first thing I'm going to need to do is create a plug. I'm going to have to create a stopper. And the way I do that is I got this kitty litter stuff. I think it's actually kitty litter, but they call it clay. And I ram the kitty litter and so I can create a plug. So this is my ramming post. And I'm going to get a piece of tape, and I'm going to tape one end of this tube, and I'm going to introduce some of this kitty litter, and I'm going to ram a plug. This is that kitty litter junk. Let me turn the music up a little. Okay, there's a solid chunk. I turned that kitty litter into a solid chunk. So now I'm going to start introducing some composition. But rather than just plain old gunpowder, I'm going to add some metal. I want to create some sort of effects, real nice sparks. So I'm going to introduce some sort of metal. Show you what I mean. I have choices here. That's called Chinese needle. Let me switch to the front camera so it's not backwards, so you guys can read it. That's a type of metal that kind of flitters. That's plain old steel powder. That's zinc. So I'm only going to make 2 gerbs or 1 or 2 gerbs, so I have to pick let's just pick good old steel powder. Okay, we're going to use steel powder. So the trick, when you add, whoops, I got to switch the cameras again. So the trick to when you add metal to your compositions, you want to add around 10%. So I need to know what this weighs. I got to know what this weighs first. So I'll go over to my scale. Okay, I think you guys can see that. I gotta turn this down. It's more important that you hear my voice than the music. So let's see what the tub weighs. So that tub weighs around 10 grams. All right, so now I'll know how much the powder weighs. So I got basically 70 grams of powder in there. I'm going to reduce that down to 50. Okay, so now I got about 50 grams of black powder in there. And I'm going to add 10% metal. So 10% of 50 is 5 grams. So I'm going to add 5 grams of metal to that. There's my steel powder. So I'm going to add 5 grams of steel powder to this composition. And that'll make great sparks. That's what the steel powder looks like. So 5 grams. There it is right there. I got the 5. We're going to put a little more. A little more. And then I'll mix that up thoroughly and I'll start ramming the composition into the tube. This is the way I'll mix it. Oops, wrong tub. Oh boy. I'll mix this up real good. Mix the composition up. I added steel powder to it. I made the clay plug. Now I'm going to start adding the composition to this tube. I'm going to start ramming it. I try to clean up as I go, so I'm not always fumbling around looking for things. So I'm mixing the steel powder in with the black powder, and the steel powder is what is going to create all the sparks. Okay. Let me mix it just a little bit more. I can tell by looking at that I want to add a little more steel to that. Just want to add a tad bit more steel powder to that. I've done this so many times. I got a feel for, I know how much needs to be. So I added steel powder to the black powder, mixing it up. And now I'll start ramming the composition. Always when you ram compositions, you have to do it in increments. You can't do it all at once. It has to be done in increments. This is what I'm going to ram it with. This is called a drift. I'm going to start ramming the powder. I don't know, 10 good whacks is usually good enough. I'm going to try to hurry this along because this takes a while. But in the end, I'm going to try to fill up this entire tube with composition. That's my goal. We were just another band out of Boston. I'm trying to make ends meet. Ramming the composition. And got ready to play. People came alive. Rock and roll band, and getting crazy, anticipating love and music. I always cover my composition in case there's an accident. You don't want the whole shop blowing up. Only a little bit of composition that you're working with. If that blows up, hopefully you'll be all right. Bonnie, listen. Probably I'll do this at least 10 times. Maybe not 10 times, but the idea is you don't ram it all at once. You got to do it in increments. And by ramming it, what you're doing is you're consolidating all your composition and you're trying to get one solid chunk. Came to the stage one night, smoked a big cigar and drove a Cadillac car. I think this band's out of sight. Close up your composition. Tap it down to the bottom. If I was ramming a rocket, I'd be more concentrating on consolidating my composition a little better. But since this is just a fountain or a gerb, it's not as crucial. Smoking, smoking, just to keep on toking. Smoking, smoke, feel alright, mama, I'm not joking, yeah. Okay, that's probably enough of this sparkly composition. Now this is important that I mention this. I'm going to make another plug with this end, and I'm going to have to drill into it. And I don't want to drill into metal. So I'm going to add pure black powder for that last increment, so that when I drill it, I'm not drilling into that iron metal, because that could cause a spark and set the whole thing off. So I'm going to go back to my straight black powder and put an increment or two of plain black powder in there, so that when I drill it, I'm not drilling into the metal filings, causing a spark. So this is the plain black powder. There's no metal in this. Flat black, straight black powder. Close up my compositions. Okay, now I'm going to ram some more clay into there. Get a nice solid chunk, and then I'm going to drill it to create a nozzle. Kitty litter. When I say clay, it's kind of just kitty litter. Okay, now I've created a plug, and I'm going to drill a hole in that to create a nozzle. Now remember, I put plain black powder on that top increment because I don't want to drill into iron filings. If I drill into the iron filings, it can cause a spark and kaboom. So if you're using effects like metal, always make where you're going to enter a drill into the equation. Just use plain, straight black powder composition. Never drill into metal. All right, let's take you over to the drill. Get down to it. Down today. Pick you up, take you away. Down tonight. All right. All right. I'm into the composition. I'm just going to drill a little bit more so the fuse will definitely be able, so the fire will definitely catch. I'll hand twist this. I'll hand twist it just to be on the safe side. That's what I mean by I'll drill it by hand. Okay. That's ready to pop a fuse in and light, but I want to build another device first before it's starting to get dark. Oh, it's starting to get dark. Yeah, we'll light it off now. I gotta cut a piece of fuse. There's my fuse. When you cut fuse, never use the scissors. Always use a razor blade, or never use scissors because scissors can cause a spark. So I'm going to want to tape this tube to something because when it starts shooting off, it'll just get knocked over. So I want to secure this to something. I'll probably tape it to this thing here. No, I don't know if I like that or not. I know what I'll do. Do it like this. I'm taping this down. Let me do it in front of you. I'm taping this down because when I light it, it's going to have a little bit of thrust to it, and I don't want it to get knocked over. I want it to shoot straight up in the air. All right, that should hold it. So I'm going to put a fuse in there and light her up. Here's another good trick to guarantee a light. It's called nosing. And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. I'm going to nose this off, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. Just like that. Maybe I'll introduce a little bit more powder in there to reinsure that we get it lights. That's enough. Okay. So let's go light this off, man. All right, come on. I'll take you with me. This is simply a fountain. All it's going to do is shoot sparks. That's all I expect out of this. I should have a lighter. I got my lighter. So all this is hopefully no explosions, and this will just shoot sparks. Here we go. See? Pretty cool, huh? So, that was called a gerb, or a fountain. I made a real small one. Thank you. Pit bullet. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, all you guys. That was called a fountain. One of the easiest fireworks to make. So let's make a rocket now. Sound good? Let's make a rocket. So I'll use this gum paper here to roll tubes like this. I pre-rolled this. I get a piece like 3 feet long and I roll it up. I'm going to look for my other tool. This is why I like to put everything away, so I don't have to look all around for things. So I'm going to straighten up a little bit. This is the drift I'm going to use to ram the rocket, because the drift fits inside this tube nicely, as you can see. So it's kind of the same deal. I'm going to ram a plug first. This is what a rocket looks like when it's done. Tell you what, let's light a rocket off right now, so you see what we're making and why I'm doing this. So I already have a rocket made. We'll light this baby off now. Yo, yo, yo. Big, big, big. Yo, yo, yo. It's the way I talk. That's the way Richard talks. So let me just get this set up, and then I'll face the camera forward. Okay. Going to face the camera forward. And this is a black powder rocket that I made earlier today. There we go, man. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, Joe. What's going on, bro? I'm on the phone with somebody. I will, I promise. People down the lake are cheering me on. Well, at least they're cheering me on. Sometimes I get yelled at for doing this. So at least they're happy this time. So, all right, I just shot off that rocket. Thank you, little pyro. Little pyro, so you must be a pyrotechnician yourself with a handle like that. Dude, you should check out some of my older videos. I make like 4-pound whistle rockets, 6-pound strobe rockets with 6-inch ball shells on them. Real cool stuff, but I'm making little stuff tonight. Little tiny things tonight. So if you being a pyro, little pyro, you know what's going on here. So I'm telling everybody else, little pyro, how I'm going to show them how I made that rocket. You're working on it, huh? All right, well. Basically, it's the same deal, you guys. Let me just reiterate. I use this gum paper. Has glue on one side, and I make these tubes out of the gum paper. And I'm going to do basically the same thing I just did with that fountain or that gerb. I'm going to tape one end like so. I'm going to introduce some clay, and I'm going to create a plug. So there we go. This is, I call clay, it's the same thing. Kitty litter clay, it's all the same thing. So I'm going to introduce some of this kitty litter. I'm going to create a plug. This plug here is a little bit more important than that gerb, because this here has to hold up a little better. That fountain, it's not crazy necessary to have a good plug. But when you're making rockets, it is necessary to have a good, solid plug. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm creating the plug. So that plug is about, I'll show you. No, that was terrible. That plug's about that thick. I don't know if you guys can see that. That plug's about a 1/4 inch thick. That was my goal, to make about a 1/4 inch thick plug. All right, so now I'm going to introduce composition. Going to start introducing the black powder. You guys see that? Yep, you can see it. So same deal. I'm going to do it in increments. You can't put all the composition in all at once. It has to be done in increments. A little bit at a time. As soon as I find my drift. There we go. That's called a drift. It's a piece of aluminum rod is all it is. And I'm trying to consolidate my fuel into a chunk, one chunk. When you're consolidating fuel, I would say like 10 to 15 medium wax. That all depends on the size of your rockets and all that. So, general rule of thumb, 10 good wax is good enough to consolidate any rocket fuel. I'm going to put a little more in there. Okay. Now we'll ram another increment. To get real business results today, you need professional-looking content made Adobe Express. It's the easy way to make social posts, flyers, presentations, and more. Start fast with Adobe quality templates and assets. Make edits in one click. Stay consistent with brand kits and collaborate easily with colleagues. Your teams can finally create with AI that's safe for business. Try Adobe Express. I always tap the powder down the tube so it sort of gets to the bottom. Less dust. Finding a new job is stressful, but with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. One of my dog hairs are in there. The better your matches will be, and hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities. You guys, is this in the view of the camera? Indeed, that's a little better. I'm introducing little increments at a time, not all at once. This is straight black powder. Some of these rockets I made prior, I have charcoal mixed in with them, and I have titanium metal mixed in with them. One of them has a header. Maybe I'll create a header on this one, and I'll show you how I make a header. A header is something that either blows up or has a star. A header is the effects. Once the rocket goes up, and then if the rocket has a header, those are your special effects. Oftentimes it's an explosion. Other times it's just cool looking stars or something, colors. Another word for header is garniture. What type of garniture you are creating. These are words that pyrotechnicians know. I consider myself an amateur pyrotechnician. I'm good at it. I'd be a pro, but I don't make money. So if I made money, then I'd be a professional. I don't want to make money. I'm not here to. This is just fun. I only do this for fun. If I tried to make money off this, I'd be broke. There's no money in it. Oh well, we lost our music, but it's better that you hear my voice anyway. Whenever you're making any type of rocket, you want to do it between like 7 and 10 increments is a good rule of thumb. So you divide when you enter the fuel, you do it like, 7 or 8 times, increments. You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. You can't do it all at once. Some people try to do that, but there's a good chance your whatever you're making won't work. There's a reason why you do it in increments, and that guarantees a better success rate. Oops. It's a good thing I make a lot of this because I just wasted a little bit. Whoops. That wasn't too crucial. You also want to use a wooden or a rawhide mallet. You shouldn't use metal hammers because they can cause sparks, and also it'll ruin your tooling. It's always good to use a wooden mallet or a rawhide mallet. I already mushroomed the top of my drift. That's what metal tools, they ruin your tools. You don't want to ruin your tools. So I'm getting there. Almost there. There you go. So I like to keep my shops sort of neat and clean so I don't have to look around all the time. I just can grab it right away. I'll know where it's at. One or two more increments, and then I'll put a bulkhead on there, and I'll show you what's next. Maybe 3. 2 or 3 increments, not 1 or 2. Yeah, one more increment. Then I'll put a bulkhead on there, and then I'll make a header. I'll show you. I'll make a boom. We'll create a boom. I prepared flash powder, and I'll explain all that. So the fuel came up to around there. So I'm going to introduce a little bit more clay to create a bulkhead, and I'll continue with my explaining right after that. I'm going to introduce a little bit more clay to create that bulkhead, the kitty litter. Creating a plug, basically. That's all I'm doing is creating a plug to plug up the top of my rocket. Okay. So now I have that clay plug. I'll show you in a minute. So I ran that original clay plug right here. I'm going to drill a hole in that to create a nozzle. Anybody asking any questions? Oh, wow. All right. I have nothing else to do. This is very interesting. I'll stay a while. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, Juju. I'm making a black powder rocket, my man. So, okay, getting back to what I'm doing. I ran that clay first. Now I'm going to drill it and create a nozzle. This drill bit's too big. I'm giving you guys a bad example. I'm using power tools to do my drilling, and you really shouldn't do that. But I've been doing this so long, I know not to force it too hard and create too much friction to have premature ignition. People who are just starting out should just get a drill, hold it in your hand, and twist it by hand. And I'm trying to speed things up here so everybody, in order not to bore you to death. Just think, if I blow up, wouldn't that be interesting just in and of itself? Any other comments? So you'll stay a while. Nice. I love to hear the boom. Yeah, maybe I'll blow my fingers off, maybe. I'm only kidding. One way to tell that you hit the powder is obviously when you're drilling this clay bentonite or the kitty litter, it's white. The moment you hit the fuel, you'll see the black coming up through the grooves of the drill. I'm there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I don't know if you can see the black starting to mix in. So I'll twist it by hand a little bit. I should have done this the whole way. I'm giving you guys a bad example. If you're just starting out, don't use power tools. Always hand twist your nozzles. Okay, so now I'm definitely into the fuel. You can see it at the tip of the bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a pass fire hole at here's the bottom of the rocket where the flame's going to shoot out. We'll call this the top of the rocket, and there's a clay plug in there. I'm going to drill a hole in that clay plug and create what they call a pass fire hole. In other words, when the fuel's done burning, when it gets to the end, it'll pass fire to my garniture, which is either an explosion or a star. These are stars I pre-made a long time ago. Those are stars. Can you guys see that? Oftentimes I'll put a ton of them inside of like a canister or a shell. And when the shell blows off up in the air, that's how you see all them points of light. When you're at a professional fireworks display and you see all them points of light, what you're seeing are these stars after the shell explodes. So I could either add, these rockets are so small, I could only add 1 or 2 stars to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flash powder, and that's an explosion. Flash powder is very dangerous stuff. If you guys ever attempt to make it, just be real careful. So what I'm going to do is create that pass fire hole now. Okay, I'm into the black powder. So I'm going to add some flash powder to this, and let me turn my glue gun on. I mean, I should be teaching you guys all kinds of safety, man. There's a little bit of safety tips with glue guns too. The glue gun themselves can't get hot enough to cause premature ignition, but sometimes glue guns spark. So just keep that in mind. That's a good glue gun. It shouldn't spark. So I'm going to introduce some flash powder and we're going to make a header. This here is flash powder. This flash powder is what goes in M80s and quarter sticks and stuff like that. It's really heavy duty stuff. Yeah, flash powder and is great. So you know what's going on. Juju knows what's going on. Flash powder, 70% potassium perchlorate and 30% aluminum. Real fine aluminum, preferably dark German aluminum. That's the best. 70% potassium perchlorate. I'll show you. 70% of that stuff. And 30% of this stuff. Now, this stuff is really dangerous. I don't suggest you guys make flash powder until you really read about it and know how to do it. It's really dangerous. It's very shock sensitive. It has a very low critical mass. It's dangerous stuff. Look at that little tiny bit I'm using. That's enough to blow my fingers off if I'm not careful. And I'm going to be careful. Richard's going to be very careful. So I'm going to introduce the flash powder. That little bit will be plenty. I have a dog, and I don't want to scare the crap out of my dog hates loud noises, so hopefully this will go off 500 feet in the air, and I don't scare my dog too bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my glue gun and seal that top off. The flash powder explodes much better when it's confined. Flash powder doesn't have to be confined to explode, but it explodes much better when it's confined. So here's my glue gun. It may or may not be hot enough, but I'm just going to put little dab will do you. I used to be afraid to put hot glue on flash powder, but hot glue is not hot enough to ignite the flash powder, so I was afraid for nothing. Okay, that should do it. I just want to tuck that in there a little bit. I don't want to ruin a razor blade. There we go. There. I'll cut that paper off in a minute. That glue will be That glue will harden up in like 30 seconds. This will be ready to go. So now I'll just I'll tape a stick to this, and I'll put a fuse in it, and we'll set her off. Let's bring this back over here. There's a stick already. I'll just tape this stick on. Okay. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. That's it. Okay, well, let's do this. Excuse me. Put the front camera on. Make sure I got my trusty lighter. Let me get my headlamp on, you guys. I'm gonna put my headlamp on so I can see what I'm doing. I was actually prepared tonight. I'm never prepared, but tonight I am. There's my headlamp. Okay. Here we go. Well, I guess it worked. Now the neighbor's going to be pissed at me. So you guys got to see that, man. I made the rocket right in front of you. I added the flash powder, and you guys got to see it. Thank you, Pitbull 6T. And Juju. Yeah. Thank you. I'll take a bow. I'm very proud of myself, you guys. I'm really proud of myself. Look at my shop, guys. Look at the size of them mortars. Those are big-ass mortars, my man. Those are large mortars for professional fireworks. Look at my chemical assortment. There's nothing that I cannot make. I can make every firework out there. And I have. I've made every firework. I've made large shells. I've made pinwheels. Other types of spinning fireworks. There's all my literature. This is all rocket stuff. Different types of rockets. This is more literature. That's literature for different types of stars and garnitures. So I have it all. I have all the chemicals. There's nothing I really can't do. I got it all. So I was thinking about making a volcano. Thank you, Juju. A lot of chemicals, ain't it? I have everything, my man. Look at these ball mills, pal. That's how I grind my that's how I manufacture the black powder. Those are rock tumblers that I modified in the ball mills. Do you have the recipe for pipe bombs? I know how to do it. I don't have the recipe, but I'm not trying to have like Homeland Security come and take me away. I'm trying to make fireworks that are beautiful and not destructive, my man. But I could make them if I wanted to. And it's not hard. It's very simple. But again, I try to make fireworks where people go, ooh, and not where some guy's running out with shrapnel in them that may not make it. So that's my goal, is to make beautiful fireworks and not blow people up. So anyways, I was going to do a volcano, but I think I don't know what I want to do. You want me to do a volcano? Let's do a volcano real quick. I'll show you how I do a volcano. I'll show you how I do the volcano. Here's my old volcano. Let me empty out the old garbage. Okay. To make a volcano, what I need to add, let me turn my light out. What I need to add is a chemical called ammonium dichromate. And I happen to have that. Richard happens to have ammonium dichromate. It's an orange powder. You shall see. You guys shall see. This is ammonium dichromate. Now there's ways to spiff up your volcano, but I'm just going to put pure ammonium dichromate in there. You could add metal filings to it and add gunpowder to it, but I'm just going to make a simple volcano. I could stream for hours and hours and hours and hours if I were to make different types of fireworks. But I'm trying to hurry this along just to show you guys everything. Anything else in there? Oh, do you just happen to have the good stuff? My man has everything, but again, very careful what he does like that. Yeah, the idea is to be careful. I'm trying to show you guys safety. I'm forgetting to mention a lot. But if you guys tune in a lot, I'll mention it over and over again, and I'll try to mention safety and all the good, happy, all the things that I should be mentioning, which I'm not. Maybe because I'm lazy. I'm kind of late. I'm a lazy person, kind of. Kind of a lazy person. Trying to be not lazy, but just comes natural. This stuff's very toxic, by the way, this ammonia. And the byproduct when it burns is really toxic. So if you guys ever decide to make this, wash your hands and all that when you're done. Try not to breathe in the smoke. It's really bad for you. Okay, well, let's light the volcano off now. Nothing to a volcano. You just add the dichromate to it, and there's really nothing to it. So, all right. I'll do this right here on the table. Let me get some light on this. There's some light. The trick is to get a good strong fire. Like if I hold a lighter up to this, that may not work. Now I gotta light a piece of paper or something to get that going. And that's exactly what I'll do. I'll put a little bit of the dichromate on a piece of paper. And hopefully this will work. I got a feeling this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna try, but I just got a feeling. Once it gets lit, once it does get lit, it does go. With any luck. Oh, I think I got it. Okay, here goes the volcano. Yay! That'll burn for like 30 seconds. Kind of looks like lava, doesn't it? Kind of looks pretty real, don't it? Ammonium dichromate. Now you could spiff it up with other chemicals. You can make it like shoot sparks higher and stuff like that. But a simple volcano is ammonium dichromate. I'll show you one more time. Right there. That's volcano fuel. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Juju. I appreciate it. I'm very proud of my work again. So let's light off a couple more rockets. Sound like fun? I made some rockets ahead of time. Okay. I marked them too. Okay, this one here has a header, but it's not an explosive header. It's one blue star. That's all it is, one blue star. You may not even see it. Heck, yeah, you want to see those rockets go off. Okay, yeah, good. You guys are interested. So this rocket here has, you see the little star I wedged in the top? Remember I showed you stars earlier? Well, I just wedged one blue star in the top of that. And with any luck, well, no, I'm not going to count on luck. I'm going to prime it a little bit. So I know the star will work. I'm going to make another, I'm going to nose it off and put a little black powder so I know it'll work. No, take the guesswork out of it. So I'll introduce a little bit of black powder in there. I'll crimp the paper, and this way we know that star will go off. Oops, I got to put the camera forward. Sorry, you guys. Sorry about that. What I did was I put a little piece of paper around the top of that rocket, and I'm going to introduce a little bit of black powder. That's kind of like priming it up, a little bit of primer. You know how you spray primer in like a carburetor of a car? Same thing. I primed that star up. So now I know that star should light. Star should light. Never any guarantees. Never any 100% guarantees with fireworks. There's no guarantees. Thank you, guys. I appreciate. I could tell you guys appreciate it, so thank you. All right, so this one's not loud. I'm not going to scare the dog or anything. No scare the dog. This will just go up, and there'll be a blue star at the top. I'm singing the blues, you guys. A blue star. I'm trying to not shoot this one at that last one went over my neighbor's house. I'm trying to avoid that. All right, here we go, blue star. See the blue star? It's coming down. I just heard it hit the trees around me. So there we go. That worked, right? 2 out of 2. 2 successful rockets. Oh, you did see the star. Good. You saw that little bit of blue, right? All right, let me see this next rocket. That one has a header too. That one has a boom. Okay, this one has titanium in it. This one here. I added titanium metal to this one. So this one's going to have a real bright tail. The exhaust, the stuff that shoots out the back of the rocket, it's going to be real sparkly. So with any luck, you'll see a real bright tail this time. With any luck. Okay. With any luck, you'll see that real bright tail. Real sparkly tail. Again, I don't want to shoot this at my neighbor's house. Don't want to shoot it at my neighbor's house. Okay. Okay. Sparkly tail this time. Sparkly tail. Here we go. So, that worked. See the tail on that? You notice how the exhaust was real sparkly? That was cool, right? That's what happens when you add metal to your fuel. You get that sparkly tail. You could there's all kinds of metals you could add. You could add aluminum. You could add zirconium. I'll show you. That makes a really cool tail. The titanium, that makes a really cool tail. That's a type of metal. That zinc, that makes a really cool tail. All these metals that you add to your rocket fuels, they're all different types of effects that you could add to the powder to create different types of tails for rockets. But you use them in other things, like that zinc is used in stars also. There's a lot of things you use it in. I'm getting yelled at because I'm scaring the dog. That's what that was my wife saying. Stop it. That means less dog and Mary. Oh boy. Just one more. I'm going to tell her one more and I'm done. Sorry, you guys. You know how that goes. Happy wife, happy life. I'm going to tell her just one more. You know, happy wife, happy life. I got to live by that. Oh, and whack. I told the old lady just one more. One more. Now, oh, she's pissed. One more, wifey. One more. This one here has charcoal in it. Charcoal makes like an orange tail. When I add charcoal to the rocket fuel, this will make an orange tail. So one more, and then I'm going to get yelled at when I go in. Oops. Oh, man, I'm effing everything up over here. No. There we go. All right, one more, you guys. One more. My dog's such a wimp. But I don't want to scare my dog. I love my dog. I don't want to scare him. So this will be the last one. This should have an orange tail. Orange tail, come up. Oh shit, I must have put a header in that. Oh boy, I'm done. I'm done. She's gonna kill me. You guys, I'm gonna get yelled at. She's gonna kill me. Yeah, that was her, right? Okay, I'm telling her I'm done. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, you guys, listen. That was fun, man. Now Richard's got to go in and get yelled at. And I got to go kiss her butt and tell her I'm sorry. Next time. Okay. I'm done. No more. So, I don't want to scare my dog anyway. Yes, I will stay safe and careful, Juju. Next time I make a bunch of fireworks, I'll take them down to a place where it won't bother anybody. I'll prepare a whole bunch. I usually go down by these power lines near where I live. Nobody owns the power lines, and I shouldn't be shooting the stuff off under power lines, but nobody can yell at me down there. Richard, how amazing that you are doing this for all of us. I apologize. You're going to get yelled at. That's all right. It was kind of worth it. So, it was kind of worth it. So, all right. Well, listen. I don't know when I'll do this again, but it'll be soon. Definitely on the weekends. What's today? Wednesday? Today's Wednesday, I think. So, definitely on Saturday and Sunday, I'll prep up a whole bunch of stuff. I'll make a bunch of stuff. We'll take it down to the power lines. And maybe I'll show you how I make a couple other devices, but I won't let them light them off here. And I'll take them down to the power lines, and I'll show you guys how cool this is. All right, well, Richard's got to go. Don't worry, I have notifications. Oh, okay, man. You know, I appreciate that, man, that you subscribe to my channel and all that. So, terrific, fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll talk to you the next time. I'll do another live stream tonight, but that's where I just chat with people and say, yo, 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 what's going on? I talk about my dog and my life and boring things like that. So, okay, Richard's going to go. Oh, I'm glad you subbed, Omar Cozy. Oh, you already subscribed. So you guys get notifications so you'll know. And I'll make like a little thing where I let you guys know ahead of time. I think you can schedule your live streams ahead of time. And I'll leave something in the description for you guys, letting you know what's up. Okay, listen, I love you guys. I'm going to go in and get yelled at now. And have a great night. I'll live stream again, but that's just to yuck it up.